John Bolton, Donald Trump's notoriously hawkish national security advisor, was notably absent when the president stepped into North Korea this weekend. Bolton was instead dispatched to Mongolia, where he tweeted a picture with the Mongolian Secretary of State and claimed to be delighted with the assignment. Bolton was not delighted with the New York Times report indicating the Trump White House is scaling back its demands on denuclearization from North Korea. Bolton called the report a reprehensible attempt by someone to box in the president, adding darkly, there should be consequences. You can understand him getting a bit prickly since he's the man who's running the National Security Council and yet somehow didn't end up on the Korea leg of the trip. But you know who was there? America's newest diplomat, Ivanka Trump, who joined a meeting with North Korean despot Kim Jong-un and announced to the world that we are on the precipice of ushering in potentially a golden era for the Korean Peninsula. Okay. During the trip, Trump referred to the combination of his daughter and the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, as Beauty and the Beast. As for Ivanka's diplomating, we got to see her in action from a video posted by a French government where she tried to participate in a conversation in Japan involving the leaders of France, Britain, and Canada, and the head of the IMF, Christine Lagarde.
It's all, yeah.
As soon as you start talking about the economic aspect of it, though, a lot of people start listening who wouldn't otherwise listen.
And the same with the defense side of it, in terms of the whole sort of ecosystem. Been very male-dominated, so...
That video and Ivanka's presence in Korea in general garnered plenty of criticism. Eric Swalwell noted she has no foreign policy or diplomacy experience, and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wrote that being someone's daughter actually isn't a career qualification. On Twitter, under the hashtag #UnwantedIvanka, Ivanka, people photoshopped her into various scenes. There she is, alongside Martin Luther King Jr., and taking the mic at the Yalta conference next to Winston Churchill and peering from the water during Rose and Jack's last moments together. The awkward Ivanka adventure was another reminder that you are not the only one who finds this situation strange. As Bobby Ghosh reported, a foreign diplomat telling him in 2017, quote, "We regard Ivanka Trump the way we do half-wit Saudi princes. It's in our national interest to flatter them." But this assault on our democratic norms is just what Donald Trump does. And next up, he's coming for the 4th of July. Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.